Okay, everyone. I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to be able to say about this movie, seeing how while the movie is okay, it's one of those films where it's like, even as a diehard fan of the source material, I haven't been a diehard fan of it for like 13, 14 years, so let's get into it. Okay, so Detective Pikachu. Basically, the story, and this is no secret, it's in the trailer. This kid, played by Justice Smith, has to find out what happened to his father with the help of a wisecracking, coffee-addicted Pikachu that can somehow talk to him and he can understand. Whereas other humans in the movie don't seem to understand what Pikachu is saying. Anyway, so I think the first thing I want to say is that since the movie is mainly a CGI fest of all these Pokemon characters and creatures from the original show, the one thing I'll say is that sometimes the effects look really good, but then other times they don't look. It looks like someone just took a not so perfectly rendered computer image from a video game and just plugged it into an actual shot of the city. Um, and the movie is trying to go for a film noir kind of look, but it was really weird at first seeing that because it seemed like they have kind of a dark sort of tone with the title screen, which is not something you'd expect from blue and yellow neon lighting of Detective Pikachu. That again, you saw that in the trailer, so it was kind of a little weird to see that sort of thing. Um, Justice Smith, his character is not really that impressive in this movie. I mean, he does have an emotional arc of reconnecting with his dad, but even then, he's kind of the same generic lost young man that we see in a lot of these kinds of movies. Not just the whole search. I mean, there are some movies where the search for the father can actually be done quite well, like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. But that's not really a mystery. That's more of an action adventure comedy. And for those of you who are going to hear me say that and say Indiana Jones isn't a comedy, Last Crusade is. They're cracking jokes almost every 10-15 minutes of the movie. Anyways, so honestly, so his character isn't. It's not bad. It's written adequately. This is kind of like what I was saying about a year or so ago of Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is so run of the mill okay that it's really hard to say anything noteworthy in a good or a bad way. Ryan Reynolds, he's a lot of fun as always with sort of that quippy, snarky one-liner kind of trait that he's been really making a lot of money off of since Deadpool. It's not exactly a Deadpool kind of thing, but he is kind of. I think it's been a while since I've seen an actor in movies or in TV kind of have this very witty, charming, sarcastic sense of humor. I think the most recent example you'd have to go with would be Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, because he does kind of a snarky, quippy one-liners as well. But then again, that kind of trait has been around with a bunch of leading men for who knows how long. Honestly, I think Ryan Reynolds, I think he steals the show. Not only because of the fact that he's voicing a Pikachu, but I think because of the fact that he still has that same snarky charm that everyone's started to love about him in the past few years. I mean, he and Justice Smith, they both get an equal amount of screen time, and they both have their moments to shine. And it is a lot of fun. And I do kind of like how this movie has a reference to the first Pokemon film from about 20-odd years ago where Mewtwo busts out of his laboratory. I do like that. I do like the twist that they make Mewtwo the hero instead of the villain who becomes a hero at the end of the first movie. That was kind of cool. There's not really much else to say about the villain other than the fact that they do kind of pull a twist out. And the idea that they have about Pokemon being, combined with the body of their trainer to the point where that's kind of interesting. And they don't really explain why this weird mist thing does that. They explain that it makes Pokemon angry, but I don't think they really explain. I mean, they kind of explain the whole mixing Pokemon and human DNA, but it sounds so silly and so ridiculous. It's kind of, well, actually, it's for this world, it's actually kind of easy enough to buy, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure how much of this movie people will find enjoyable if they didn't grow up watching the anime. Like if you're someone who has a bunch of friends that's really into Pokemon and they drag you to the theater to see this movie and you have no interest in Pokemon growing up, I'm not exactly sure how much this movie would speak to you. But then again, Pokemon is such a popular thing that it'd be kind of hard to find a significant amount of people who haven't watched the show. You know? And I mean, I stopped watching Pokemon in 2005. Most of the most of the first and second generation Pokemon I did recognize, but a lot of it was kind of, I think my friend Eli once compared this to Roger Rabbit and stuff, and it is kind of like Roger Rabbit in the sense that there is a lot of famous Pokemon characters in the movie, and it is a crime drama of sorts. So it is kind of an interesting movie. And some parts of it were predictable, but the movie was decent. And I don't think this film was trying to be some sort of life-changing, perception-shattering film. I think it was just supposed to be a fun action film with some comedy and some good emotional moments. There's really not much else I can say. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is one of those movies where it's decent, so I'm not really sure what else to say, aside from I will see you guys next week when I review Good Morning Vietnam by starring Robin Williams, and I will do my Rolling Stones cover on Monday. See ya!